What's up, everybody? Arrg the Pirate here, and I got requested to play Grux in the jungle, so sure enough, that's what we're gonna do. Now, I'm not the best, but as always, let's go over the deck. Now, I have Jungle Assassin, Fast Travel, Mana Generator, Jungle Lifesteal, Armored, and lastly, Shredding Strikes for my gems. Now, for my cards, I have Coin Master, Exoskeleton, the Mother Tree, Flame of Zetchin, Green Spring, Growth Totem, Guard Piercer, Veil Stepper, Thunder Cleaver, Numbing Rogue, Trapper, and lastly Unbroken Spirit. Now, I was asked to go over the starting rotation for Grux, so I'm definitely going to do that. But before we start, I don't have Jungle Lifesteal on. I've actually got Healing Towers on, and I did this to show y'all that you can still do this rotation even if you don't have any type of sustained gem or even that sustained card. But it's a little bit tricky, and if you get a very early jungle rotation, you might go down. So, highly recommend putting on Jungle Lifesteal, and that will, really save your life. Now, go ahead and take out all the outside camps, all 4 of those white camps, and use Double Pain to actually, hit a minion. I try to start it off with it if I remember, and you can also follow that up. You can get 2 of them per, by the time you take that jungle minion down, you can get 2 double pains in, and then by the time you get that 3rd minion, you'll actually hit level 2. And this is great. I would recommend picking up Smash and Grab because you can actually use Smash and Grab on these 3 minions here. And by the time you take out one of these minions, or these 2 outside minions, you'll actually hit level 3. This will give you the ability to unlock, all your abilities. And, but you can see without having that Jungle Lifesteal, I am going to have to go back. So I'm not worried about spending any mana. I go ahead and just waste all my mana, or not really waste it, but use it quickly, and then I'm going to head back to base. I then throw on the Mother Tree. Now, I really like the Mother Tree for the jungle on these non-sustain heroes like Grux. It's a very good early game card, and since it only costs 2 points, it can have a pretty good impact, and it's also got some decent sustain, so if you are making a rotation for a gank, something like that, it can be beneficial. Now, I've been starting out with Coin Master a lot more than I ever did. I never used to pick up Coin Master. I always picked up the Exoskeleton or, some other 1-point card. But the reason I pick up Coin Master now is because Exoskeleton only works against heroes, and it's almost pointless to have as a jungler. It would work right here when we're going in on this gank, but hey, we've got green buff, so it's not going to do anything. And sure enough, we're able to take that Iggy down. Now, we did get a purple buff, and that allowed us to go right up to him, which if I wouldn't have had purple buff, we wouldn't have had that situation. But, hey, it worked out very well. Now, we're not going to push that tower. Fang showed up. There is no sense for us to go under tower. We got to kill. Let's back up. Let's kind of rotate around. Look what we're going to do and, make plays elsewhere. We don't need to continue moving in on that mid lane. You have to pick the right time, and right now, since Fang is there, it's not the right time, guys. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try to make a play onto this Greystone. Go ahead, grab that Smash and Grab. We're able to knock him up, and, I am diving this tower, taking quite a bit of damage, but I'm thinking Zinx, with her being here, she's going to be able to really help me out. Unfortunately, their Fang was, right here, and I'm going to try to get away. I did get that stun on him, but, Fang is very quick, so he ends up catching up to me, and he's able to take me out. Hey, that's unfortunate, but we have got 2 kills for that 1 death. We've done okay. That might have been a little risky, diving that tower the way I did, but I definitely want to get Greystone shut down and make sure our Zinx is able to hit level 5 before Greystone is. And, hey, we were pretty successful. Now, unfortunately, Zinx stayed in on that engagement. She ended up going down, which you know, that kind of defeats the purpose of taking that gray stone out, but hopefully she'll be able to come online around the same time as he does, and this is going to free me up to go back and actually finish off this black buff. You know, I did pick out those 2 little minions before I rotated and actually went into lane, but, you know, hey, go ahead, pick up black buff, and then I'm actually going to head to my jungle. And, you know, I have kind of been neglecting the jungle, but, you know, hey, let's go ahead and pick that green buff up. As a jungler, you want to get green buff very, very often. It's best to pick it up every chance you get. Now, I do forget sometimes, and, you know, I'm definitely not a jungle main, so, you know, just switching around from hero to hero. But, guys, if you want to really strive in the jungle, pick up that green buff as often as you can, and when you get it, look to use it to kill enemies or secure Fang Prime, something like that. Don't just pick it up and finish clearing jungle camps. It's better to, you know, wait on those jungle camps. Now, Twin Blast does a great job of diving me, or, you know, escaping that first smash and grab, but we are able to take him out with that assistance of green buff. You know, their Fang is here, and luckily Revenant does ult him. You know, I thought we would have a little bit more of a collapse from the team, and with that Fang showing up, you know, I should have known a little bit better than that. But hey, we end up actually not doing too bad. You know, with Muriel here, she's going to be able to keep us alive, and me and Revenant are able to back, you know, hey, we shut down their ADC. That was a great play, and we ended up getting out as well. Now, guys, I'm going to leave this in for now, and if you see here, I built specifically to pick up Veil Stepper and keep on my Coin Master, and then I can pick up Flame, and that's actually very big. Know what card you want to build first, guys. I really like putting on Veil Stepper first, but, you know, hey, if you want to build Guard Piercer or whatever, know what card you're going to build first, and then build towards that card. I see a lot of people, they pick, you know, they just kind of go, hey, I want more agility. Don't do that so much. Know what card you want. If you want Numbing Rogue first, you know, sure, you can pick up your agility very early, but then focus on vitality so you can get that card online as fast as possible. And that's very much the same with Veil Stepper. I like putting this card on, and now I want to build more tanky cards. So, you know, I can pick up maybe Thunder Cleaver, or I want to build into Numbing Rogue, something like that. So now that I've got Veil Stepper, I'm going to concentrate on that vitality. Now, while we were talking, you know, hey, we made a great rotation. We were able to shut down Muriel as well, but my team has taken quite a bit of poke. I'm going to go ahead and pick up gold buff. Now, guys, I usually pick up gold buff if I'm going to make the jungle rotation and it's up. I'm going to go ahead and secure it because not all the time the ADC picks it up, but, you know, I need to get just as much farm as he does, and so, you know, I try to pick that up. You know, I pay your taxes kind of thing. Now, we do go ahead and go in on Iggy, and you can see, guys, with Veil Stepper, you know, we've got some pretty decent sustain, and we're able to survive quite a bit of his ultimate, and we're off to a great start. We're 4-1-1, you know, we're having a great impact on this match, making these rotations, and guys, that's very key as the jungler. If you're making rotations, they need to be rotations that you're getting kills on. If you're rotating and just kind of scaring enemies off, that's not going to be just very helpful. You definitely want to get kills. And you can see here, we go ahead and head down on this Fang. Now, I should have stunned him there. I used that double pain. I should have used my smash and grab. We might have been able to get that kill, but, you know, it's unfortunate. It is what it is, though. Now, we go ahead and pull Twin Blast in, but, you know, the tower didn't aggro onto him. It would have been nice to get a little more damage, but Muriel did show up, so we're going to get this lane pushing in the right direction and kind of wait for our Revenant to head back over. Now, Revenant does make it back to lane, and I'm going to take this opportunity to back, and we're able to actually put on Green Spring, so we now have quite a bit of sustain, and I'm actually going to pick up Green Buff. And I'm kind of looking around and I say, hey, you know what? That Muriel was just down. It's going to take her a little bit to get into lane. Let's actually head over there and see if we can make something happen. Now, guys, I don't play a whole lot of Grux, so I misjudged the distance of smash and grab all the time. We're able to down that T1, and it would have been nice if we would have grabbed that Twin Blast. Who knows? That might have changed the entire game, but hey, we missed them. And it's unfortunate, but is what it is, guys. now that we have taken down that T1, that's going to free our ADC and our support to start rotating. You know, it's going to free them up to actually start helping making plays, things like that, and that's absolutely huge. You know, we haven't had a whole lot of presence in that solo lane, and that's just because the solo lane is, you know, those heroes need to get fed, and, you know, that duo lane takes a lot more energy. That's where my jungle is, things like that. But if you ever see that solo lane need some help, guys, you gotta head over there and help them out. Now, Zinx is pushed up very far by herself, and with zero vision on the enemies, you know, it's definitely not a good choice to be pushed up that far. And, you know, I could rotate over there, but really a rotation over there right now would just take away from my farm. You know, I'm not going, by the time I get there, I'm not going to be able to help down that tower if she's able to down the tower. All I would do is head over there and maybe save her life from getting ganked. And, you know, that's, you don't want to rotate to maybe do something. You want to rotate to make sure something happens. You know, she did get rotated on, and she was able to take down that tower, which is great. And since Muriel ulted over there, you know, there's a little bit that could happen, but you see, Muriel used her ultimate to save Zinx's life, and she ended up going down. You know, that was just a bad situation. And really, you know, Zinx was definitely out of position since there was no vision on the enemies. And, you know, you kind of have to make those calls as a jungler. I chose to stay in farm when, you know, really, I could have rotated over there, but like I said, I wouldn't have been there in time to down that tower, and we would have both got ganked as well, you know, which the fight might have changed, it might have been a little bit different, but really, guys, those are those judgment calls that you have to make as the jungler. Now, we are going to head over to that duo lane. You know, we picked up purple buff, and so we're going to head over there. We might be able to make something happen. Sure enough, Twin Blast and Muriel are here, so I'm going to wait till they kind of collapse. You know, I want my ADC to be closer to the enemy ADC, and I go ahead and use... he dodged those abilities just perfect time. You know, it feels bad, man. But, you know, hey, we're going to get this Muriel kill, and, hey, that's awesome. You know, and again, guys, you should really try to engage with Grux's ultimate. You know, I've never been a big Grux player, and you've always kind of engaged with his ultimate, but those self-buff type ultimates were like Seraph and Grux, you know, I forget to use those all the time, guys, just because, you know, I'm like, hey, I want to do damage with my ultimate instead of going, hey, I want these next 8 seconds, I want to hit people hard. But it is what it is. Definitely try to start engaging with your ultimate, guys. Now, I am trying to get my team to attack Fangtooth, but it's just not happening. So, hey, let's head elsewhere. I go ahead and I miss another smash and grab, which feels bad, man, but we're able to get a couple of stuns on this Greystone, and luckily Wraith is able to rewind him, and you know, that rewind, guys, it's just so strong. We're going to go ahead and head over, and, you know, we pick up this purple buff so Greystone doesn't get it. We're going to go ahead and knock him up, get him stunned, take him out, and then from here, we should be able to make a play happen. And I'm going to head to mid lane. You know, hopefully we can shove this mid lane. Twin Blast is here, and then we kind of get collapsed on a little bit, so, you know, hey, we're in trouble. Luckily, our Wraith is going to get out, and you can see, guys, we are pretty tanky. The amount of damage we were absorbing is just huge, and that was enough to let our Wraith back up a little and get out of that situation. You know, I did not realize the entire team was rotating over. You know, hey, when you have that big of a rotation, it's pretty tricky. Now, one thing when you're not in comms with your team, you know, the pinging system, like I've said so many times, guys, it's just terrible. And, you know, I'm trying to get my team to attack Fang. I've tried 3 or 4 times, you know, and we're just not having it happen. You know, my Muriel and my Revenant are staying in their solo lane, and, you know, they're pushing pretty unsafe. You know, it would be much more helpful if they were to rotate, but it is what it is, guys. You got to make the best of it. We're able to get a great stun onto this Iggy, and, guys, we delve him a little bit. We're able to take him out, and we should be able to shove this lane and actually take this tower down. You know, and that's what you want. You see my ADC and support, they're playing very, very aggressive. which, you know, it would be better if they were helping out other lanes. But this is going to allow that the pressure that they're keeping up, it's going to allow us to actually go in on this tower and actually end up taking out this T1. And, you know, again, guys, I would definitely like our ADC to show up and help us out. But, you know, hey, we made the best out of the situation we're in, and you can't be upset about that. Now, I am going to head over to our duo lane. You know, we did just lose our ADC, and Muriel did have to back. So I'm going to kind of wait for them to show up and hopefully just save this tower a little bit. You know, I definitely don't want to die for it. And Twin Blast is starting to, you know, he's starting to hurt a little bit, but we still have Green Spring on, so we're able to take some of that damage. We end up, you know, getting a little bit of damage onto that Twin. You know, Fang shows up. With Muriel here now, though, we should be able to survive quite a bit more. And once Revenant shows up, hopefully the enemy team will back off and, you know, we can start playing a little safer and, you know, we can just leave this engagement. But at this point, you know, hey, they're probably going to down this tower. You know, it's just a few hits. Luckily, Revenant was able to scare them off. You know, he is definitely diving or, you know, chasing them a little bit. But, hey, you know, I need to back. I'm out of mana. And there's not a whole lot I can do but swing my clubs around once I'm out of mana. Now I am building a little bit tanky. I want to put on Numbing Rogue over that Unbroken Spirit just because I think Numbing Rogue will be a good card right now. They don't have just a ton of ability damage, so and, you know, not a whole lot of CC. So I'm thinking that would be a much better card. And, you know, really no CC at all, you know, so no hard CCs that would actually make Unbroken Spirit worth it. But, you know, hey, we go ahead and head in on Iggy. And, guys, this is what I was talking about. You know, you want to start out with that ultimate. You want to pick that ultimate up pretty quick. We could have avoided the little bit of damage that we did take there. But, hey, no problem. Great play. Let's go ahead and pick up Fang, and finally we get some rotation. We're able to take out Fang at 22 minutes. Now, guys, remember, when you're going in on Fang and the enemy shows up, get off of Fang, head to the enemy. And sure enough, you know, the Fang Mao, Twin Blast show up. We're going to go ahead, head over to them, and, you know, deal with them. You know, we are that frontline tank. We need to be there. But, you know, my team's, they're not stopping Fang, so I need to be there to make sure I can secure it with Flame. Sure enough, we picked that up, and, you know, hey, the chase is kind of on, but the enemy team, they're going to end up getting out of that. You know, Greystone is pushing that T1 on the solo lane, so we got to head over there and hopefully deal with him. Now, on the way over, I can see he's backing. I'm not going to be able to get there on time. Zinx is heading over there, so she can deal with the lane. I'm going to go head back to help out with my team. Now, unfortunately, Muriel and Revenant are pushed way too far up again, guys. And one thing that I just don't really care for is Muriel keeps ulting away when they get into an engagement. You know, they push up really, really far, and then Muriel leaves and Revenant dies. You know, we're struggling here in our solo lane. So, you know, it is what it is, guys, or in our duo lane. I mess them up all the time, but, you know, it is what it is. I go ahead and let them know, hey, guys, can y'all please just stop pushing up that far, and hopefully some things change. Now, I was kind of hanging out in that duo lane, waiting for it to push, but then, you know, I decided I'm going to head to mid. We're able to, you know, keep this Greystone stunned. You know, the stuns, guys, are insane. And then I'm going to go ahead and ult and switch to Iggy. And sure enough, we're able to take out Iggy, guys. You know, Wraith didn't even follow up on that. If he would have followed up on that Greystone, we would have definitely taken out Greystone there, but that's quite all right. You know, we shut down that Iggy once again. You know, at this point, we've got quite a few kills on Iggy, and he is not near the threat as, you know, he could be. Now, again, we're going to go try to rotate over, you know, that we kind of chase that Twin Blast off, but we need to leave him. And then I see, you know, hey, maybe we can actually make something happen over here. Sure enough, we're going to go ahead, go in on this Muriel. You know, my Veil Stepper was about to run out, so I had to make the play happen then, and, you know, Muriel was just in a better position for me. So, you know, hey, great play there. We were able to hit her out, and then we can shove this lane. Now, I head over to this fog wall because I knew Fang was going to rotate, so we got to be careful of that. And, you know, hey, Fang shows up. He's got green, but guys, we hurt right now. We definitely hurt. Sure enough, we're able to take Fang out, and then we can go ahead, go in onto this T1. We're able to, or this T2. We take that T2 out. You know, this is great. We've got a great push going, and hopefully we'll be able to make something happen. I try to grab Twin. You know, Twin is very tricky to actually get some of those, you know, smash and grab, those very short range CCs. You know, he can escape them very well. My team did stay in a little bit too long. Now's the time to leave. You know, once we miss that engagement on Twin, you know, hey, we got to back up. Sure enough, you know, most of us get out. And I'm going to actually head to mid lane. Now, we kind of need to go back, lick our wounds, you know, deal with that solo lane. You know, I'm going to go ahead and farm my jungle up. You know, we just kind of need to take a break. And then I see Twin Blast going in on Wraith, and then, you know, so I kind of head that back way. Sure enough, Twin Blast jumps right into my smash and grab. We're able to take him out, just completely evaporate him, guys. And then we end up taking out Muriel as well. You know, Greystone, guys, Greystone's not going anywhere. And we take him out. Great triple kill. Let's go ahead, pick up Fang, and then we should be able to actually, you know, push a tower, push another T2, something. We should be able to make a pretty decent play off of this. We just need that teamwork. Now, unfortunately, after we pick up Fang, you know, I go to mid to try to push mid, and my team just completely splits up. You know, it's like, okay, well, you know, we lost the best opportunity we've had so far to push towers for free and take those free objectives. You know, it feels bad, man, but it is what it is. Now, Wraith did just go invis, so, you know, we should be capitalizing on that, and I'm not exactly sure why my team did not, you know, follow up on that, but hey, you know, it is what it is, guys. That was another great opportunity that we missed out on, but, you know, again, you can't win them all. My Zinx is being chased pretty bad, so we're going to head over there, try to, you know, keep them from engaging. Sure enough, they all kind of split up, and Fang dips out, you know, that Greystone dips out. And from here, you know, hey, we need to try to find something to do. Our lanes are pushed pretty far. You know, we could make a prime play. We could, you know, get our lane set, something like that, but we're just not having that team communication. We're not working well as a team. You know, our ADC and support are kind of just staying in their lane. They're not really rotating, which, you know, that is definitely affecting our, you know, our end game, really. Now, Fangtooth is about to spawn in, so we want to kind of sit around, get ready to go in on Fangtooth, and we get into this real sloppy fight. Now, Fangtooth spawns in, you know, the enemy team is all here. Let's go ahead. We can chase them off. You know, I don't know how I got Muriel or got Twin Blast and not Muriel there. That was really strange. And Twin Blast, you know, he just zipped right past me. You know, we're in this really sloppy fight, and I actually want to get back in where we are, but since my ADC is staying out, you know, I'm having to stay in that fight a little more, and, you know, I'm just tanking a ton of damage that I really don't need to. And, you know, you can see this fight is just really sloppy. Just the positioning on both sides has been just not great. Twin Blast is, you know, he's about to get me, so we need to make something happen. I'm gonna go ahead, get my smash and grab off, you know, and unfortunately, you know, my team's with it. Everybody's. This was a really bad fight. You know, the positioning we had. Everything about this fight was just terrible. And you can see Zinx is still going in on Twin, and while Muriel and Greystone are just teeing off, you know, she should have tried to run the other way, you know, stun him and run, instead of going after the one guy that she can't catch up to, because, you know, not only does he have his little rocket boots, but he's running Trapper. You know, just everything about that fight was bad. And I mean, you can really see my perspective. You know, we wanted to stay down in the Fang Pit, but we had to go back out because, you know, that's where our squishy heroes are, and we need to be that frontline damage absorber. Now, I went ahead and threw Trapper on. I've never played with Trapper on Grux before, so I decided to try it out. You know, we've got some basic armor, we've got, you know, that numbing robe, you know, we're pretty tanky, And, you know, we've got some decent clear. We've got some, you know, I'm thinking maybe this might be a decent build. And we're just kind of running around, getting everything set in the right direction. And, you know, there is a collapse in mid, so we need to head to mid lane. Unfortunately, our Wraith goes down. You know, we're starting with those staggered deaths already. And, you know, it feels bad, man. But I see our Muriel shows up. So, guys, you know, we should, this should be an easy kill, you know. And we should be able to make something happen there, but, you know, that was probably a poor decision on my part as well. We probably shouldn't have engaged on that. I was thinking Muriel being there, and with our Revenant, you know, our Revenant's running Deathcrawler. He should be able to just instantly melt somebody, but, you know, it didn't quite work out that way. And you can see, you know, this is one thing. We've got 2 team wipes just back to back. You know, we were winning this game, and it's turned into, hey, we went from winning to, wow, we're going to lose. Now, I don't like surrendering, especially when the team deserves to win. You know, I think, you know, they played much better as a team. They pulled it together, and guys, I don't like surrendering. You know, if it's 15 minutes into the game and you've got someone feeding, that's one thing. But if you know, if the enemy team deserves to win, you know, guys, just let them have the win. You get more experience anyway, so no problem with letting a team win. And, you know, it feels so much better. But, you know, we're kind of doing the, hey, we just had a team wipe, let's do some damage control thing. You know, the full enemy team is there in mid, and I'm thinking, hey, let's go ahead and bait Prime, and if they don't rotate over, we'll take Prime. But if they do rotate over, you know, we should be able to, you know, take them out. With that Muriel being down, sure enough, we're going to head into this fight. Now, I'm using that line of sight onto Twin Blast. You know, I want to keep him kind of, you know, away from me. And you can see, just running towards him like that, you want to avoid that, guys. You want to get him in a bad position, and then you can take him out very easy. And, you know, hey, we end up taking out that Greystone. Unfortunately, you know, we end up losing Zinx there. And it was because, you know, she's facing off against Twin Blast. And guys, when an ADC is running Deathcrawler, you can't face off against him. You know, just let him go. You know, we could pick up Prime right there. If my team would have came to Prime instead of staying engaged, we would have definitely picked up Prime at that point. But, you know, again, guys, you can't make your team do what you want them to. We end up actually getting a 3 for 4, which we should have really only had one person down, and we could have taken Prime and probably turned this game around, maybe got an inhib, something like that. But, you know, we end up not getting Prime. We got into that real sloppy team fight, you know, and that's really going to hurt us as well. You know, the positioning on our team, you know, as a team, we are just not doing the things that we really need to do. You know, we're letting Twin Blast just tee off on us while we're fighting, you know, tanks, and we're not line of sighting him to where he's got to get into bad positions, things like that. But it's what it is, guys. Now, I don't want to lose the small advantage that we have. You know, we've got a little bit of an advantage with having all those heroes downed, and I don't want to lose that, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just absolutely shove this solo lane, and, you know, hopefully we can make something happen. You know, Greystone shows up, and I'm going to have to deal with him, but, you know, that's not a problem. I was thinking I could hold off on using my ult. You know, I was thinking I might do enough damage to the tower, but really I should have just ulted and just taken this tower out. And I might have even been able to survive if I would have just ulted. I had no idea he did that much damage to the structure. Did y'all see? It like quadrupled my damage to that structure. That's absolutely crazy. But we end up dying for that T2, which, putting my team on a staggered death at this late stage, it's definitely not ideal. But, you know, we're not working as a team, guys. We're not working as a team. We're working as a bunch of solo players. And, you know, at this point, you know, that's something that we really have to avoid. And, you know, my team ends up, you know, they're just out of position. They're in mid. And, hey, you know, we end up getting a few deaths right here as well. And that's pretty much going to wrap up the match. Now, even though we do lose this match, you know, hey, this was a very fun match. I did way better than I thought I would. But, you know, it was really just that poor team communication. You know, our ADC and support constantly pushing that duo lane. You know, we weren't taking advantage of getting kills because, you know, our team wasn't, you know, rotating together and pushing a single objective. You know, we could have got Fang several times and never did. You know, there were a lot of problems, but this was a fun match, and I really hope y'all can see that, you know, when y'all stay split up like the way we were doing in this match, you know, it definitely doesn't always work out. Well, you can't always win them all, guys, but we did a pretty decent job, so I'm happy with it. Well, if y'all did enjoy this Grux guide, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, join our Discord if you haven't done it. I'd love to play with y'all, and I'd love to see some of y'all in there. And as always, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.